Hey y'all, what's up? It's Dre in the Leaves and welcome back to my channel and welcome to my winter prep video. Before we jump into this video, I just wanted to put in a quick ask. As a Jamaican American woman, I am going to put a couple links to some sites that are accepting donations. As you all may or may not know, Jamaica was significantly impacted by Hurricane Melissa. Hurricane Melissa was literally dubbed the strongest storm on the planet this year. That's wild. It was literally dubbed as stronger than Katrina in her prime before it made landfall. And it made landfall as a Category 5 hurricane in Jamaica, like impacting at least 3/4 of the lands, and really causing significant destruction. I would really appreciate it if you can, if you're able, if you could just go ahead and check out some of those links, and making any donation is likely very appreciated in this current time. I just wanted to throw that in there. I don't want to make anyone feel pressured, but I do just want to say that given that I have even this very tiny little platform, if I can, share with anyone who maybe doesn't know or hasn't done something to assist already, then I'll do that. So that to the side, let's go ahead and jump into my winter plant prep video. Y'all, I feel like millennial plant dad. I do. I really do. I got a list. I pulled out the notebook. You dig? Okay? I really had to sit down and think to myself, how did you prep your plants last year? What experiences did you have with your plant last year? And what experiences do you want to have this year? You feel me? So I thought through all of that. I thought it all through. And I decided I don't want to have the same experiences that I had last year in certain regards. So I broke up all the ways that I'm preparing into roughly 6 categories. Well, really 5 categories, and the 6th is more of like me sharing some stuff with y'all. Let's go ahead and jump into that first section, which is light adjustments. Yes, I'm gonna look down real quick at my notes, you know what I'm saying? Because I ain't take them for no reason. I took them so I could look at them. Being honest with you, I don't have much to talk about in this section. The one action that I'm gonna be taking is that I have a couple Hoyas that are in the windows, and I also had a philodendron Billy that was in the window, and I am simply going to move those away. I feel like those plants are going to be too sensitive to the cold change. I don't think all philodendron will be horrible with the cold change. For example, like a heartleaf philodendron. I have my hanging heartleaf philodendrons have been in the window this entire time I've had them. I never moved them. However, the other plants that I have, like the Billy and then some of these Hoyas, they be finicky. Like even my Matilde, you water her wrong, she will yellow a leaf. I'm not going to hold you. So I plan to move those plants away from the window, but also because I want to work smarter and not harder, I intend to not put them back in the window again next year, actually. Maybe the Matilde specifically for it to bloom because it's a south-facing window, but everything else, no. Look, if I'm moving you from a window, you might have to stay there, and I'm going to only put plants in the window that don't have to be moved because we got to work smarter, not harder. The other things, like I have most of my plants growing under grow lights. Like there's literally a grow light right here. So considering that, I'm not going to change anything. I am considering though, and I want to know y'all's thoughts. I'm considering decreasing my lighting by maybe like 2 hours. Especially like maybe where my Hoyas are at, because I want to know if that might induce some blooms. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe it'll change it up for them. It'll make them throw some peduncles out, do a little something. That's the only thought I have. But I feel like because I maintain a consistent environment, like my temperature is typically consistent. The only thing that is going to drop is like the humidity. And even that, it might not drop as much as I am thinking it will because I have so many plants. But all that being said, I think my only thing to change is pulling some of those plants away and potentially lowering the grow lights. But most of my plants are literally under grow lights. There's really not too much to do. I am considering though on my Hoya shells, I put the T5s, the Barina T5s there, but it's the 5-watt ones. So I am considering doing getting or potentially going through, because I probably do have another 6. I'm considering going and doing another like doubling up essentially on those on my Hoya shells, just because I know that it's giving them like a couple thousand lux, like maybe 2,000, 3,000 lux. But I think that Hoyas can take significantly more light than like Anthurium, obviously. So I'm considering that, but I really do just want to give it a little bit of time, because I noticed that some of my plants, their internodal spacing is a little bit longer than I like. you know, it's a little bit longer than I like. So I want to try that out because I wasn't experiencing that outside of the globulosa. I wasn't experiencing that when I didn't have the Barina T5s, but I don't think it's the lights themselves. I do think it's the wattage. And the reason I think it's the wattage is because I use Barina T5s above my prop bins, and some of my Hoyas in my prop bins are getting sun stressed in the prop bin. So if the Hoyas are getting sun stressed under the T5 in the prop bin, I don't understand what, you know what I'm saying? I don't understand what the problem is. So I think I am going to just go back in and then just double it up, because I think the difference just might be like the closeness to the light or the way the light, you know what I mean? I don't know. I think it might be the wattage. Because for example, my Sansi, I have like the clip light, the three-headed joint, that's like 10 watts each. That one is real strong, but I kid you not, the other one, like the tripod one, gets significantly higher light, but it's a different wattage. So I think that's kind of like where I feel like a lot of people, like I hear a lot of people hating on Barina sometimes, bro. And I just be like, what be wrong with y'all? Don't be hating. Don't be hating. All you have to do is get more than, you know what I'm saying? Just double up on the lights and you'll be all right. Because I don't think that a shelf needs a 36 watt light. Maybe 5 to 10 watts max, unless you're growing seedlings. But I mean like outdoor plant seedlings. That said, not me saying outdoor plants, like all these plants supposed to be outdoors. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I think like edibles, like if you're growing tomatoes and stuff like that, you might need stronger lights. But I do think it will, you know what I'm saying, be fine. And I am considering just doubling up on those lights. See, I said I didn't have much to say, and here I went yapping. Let's go ahead and move on to the section I'm most concerned about: heat and humidity. Okay, I'm not concerned about heat. It's gonna get cold, and I keep my heat on. I refuse to be uncomfortable in my house, and that's just the way it is. So because the heat is on, even though the outdoor humidity is going to be around 50%, because New York is actually not a dry place. It does not get dry like that in the winter. It's still, the humidity is still like, you know what I'm saying, 40s, 50s. It's not horrific, okay? But inside can get really chaotic. The reason is because when you turn your heat on, it does significantly drop the humidity. I'm worried because I don't want to run humidifiers. I don't want to run humidifiers. I did that last year, and I have 2 6-liter humidifiers. I simply don't want to do that. Honestly, it was a lot of work. Humidifiers are a lot of work. I can consider myself turning the humidifier on when I see because I have hygrometers actually. That is a thing. So let me pull one from right here. So I have one right here, and y'all can see it is saying, ooh, it says that it's 73 degrees and the room humidity is at 58% right now. So I don't think that if the humidity drops like lower than that, fair enough, considering I already have the heat running and I also always have my AC running. So, you know, the humidity be getting dropped regardless. But if it doesn't go lower than like 45%, I can't see myself dragging it on like getting the humidifiers on. I think Hoyas are hardy, and I hear that from everybody, so I don't want to, you know, OD there. But because I have started getting into like anthurium, that's where I'm getting a little bit nervous. Because I think the philodendron will also be fine, because most of my phyllos are on moss poles now. So I think they'll be fine. But the anthurium, because they could get crusty. Yo, they could get crusty. My thing that I want to do to mitigate that though, in this heat and humidity section with the anthurium, is getting on top of watering. I might have to, and that kind of segues us a little bit. But before we even do the watering, actually, let me not jump to the next section. I am also going to put any small seedlings into a bin. So I have my prop bin, and I'm essentially going to take out all of my props that are rooted, pot them up and tell them good luck, because they're mostly Hoyas and plants that will be they're not going to live in that bin. And I think I want to transition any of my smaller seedlings. So maybe the ones that I got from Phyto Rot, etc., because I don't like combining sets of plants. So for example, I don't have experience with the Green Escape, so I don't really want to combine the plants from the green. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to combine those for real. My plan there is to put all the Phyto Rot plants into a bin together, and then probably like do a layer of like what's that stuff called? I want to do like a layer of perlite on the bottom of the bin, like a layer, nice little thin layer, and like just wet the base so that it's always like nicely moist in there. I am gonna leave it cracked, but I just do want the humidity to be high. And maybe I might not even do the layer of perlite. I lied. You know why I'm not gonna do that? Because all of my seedlings, I do intend to pot them up with a leca layer at the bottom, or if they're too small to do the leca layer thing, then I want to put them into a reservoir. I want them to consistently have access to water. So that's the plans with the small seedlings. That's the only thing that I'm gonna do that's kind of like in depth to mitigate for heat and humidity, and that's just because they're very small. When I say seedlings, I mean like 2-3 leaves, you know what I'm saying? Maybe 4, and they don't have a big leaf. Not the ones where the leaf is like this big. I'm talking the little itty bitty babies. I'm putting those into the bin. And maybe even the ones with the leaf like this. If they are not showing full-blown characteristics yet, and they kind of all look the same, bin. And I am also going to repot those into pots that allow them to not necessarily dry out. And I guess that kind of, that topic of drying out segues into watering. I check my plants every week, right? I do think that is, you know, I'm gonna keep that same cadence, and that would work for like my Hoyas. It wouldn't really be a bother for me to check on them weekly, and actually the winter is probably where I could be relaxing more with my Hoyas, because I feel like they were drying out significantly because it was hotter. But that said, I do think that I will have to actually increase how often I check on certain plants. So for example, my anthurium, I think I'm gonna have to make sure I'm looking and checking them, because drying out in low humidity is an absolute no-no for some of these plants. The ones that are in ambient specifically, I don't want them to look busted and crusted, because my thing is I will chop all the leaves off and then it'll be a stump and I'll just wait till next year. But I don't want that. I don't want that. So what I'm planning to do is add a midweek check-in specifically for like the little 6-7 anthurium I have in ambient conditions, and just ensure that I'm checking on them. And then something I'm gonna do, because I don't like adding too much pressure to myself, and I'll say I gotta check midweek. But I'm also going to repot some of these to include a leca layer at the bottom, and then leave them with a reservoir to ensure that they are not drying out. This goes for all my ambient anthurium except for my clarinervium, which I think it will be fine regardless. Like, I think she's gonna be all right. With my Hoyas, I am excited because I don't have to be as generous with the water. I used to be using that squeeze bottle, bruh, because they sometimes wasn't making it through. They're gonna be just fine. I'll be able to go down to that weekly watering, and sometimes it won't even be that I need to water it every week. And that's what I like, because January to April or January to May, I was watering my Hoyas significantly less. May to like now, not even now, it's kind of calming down, because sometimes I'll go pick up them, I'm like, winter is coming. I like that, because you still, you know what I'm saying, don't need no water. You ain't drink it all yet. I love that for me. So that's kind of my plan. So that's kind of my plan with watering. Not too many shifts, but just like kind of doing some preemptive things. So with the repotting the anthuriums, and then also like trying to get myself into the mindset of doing that midweek check-in on the anthurium specifically. I do actually like to take time with my plants. So I do actually, you know what I'm saying, like to look at them every single day. However, I think making it so that I'm actively trying to convince myself, like, hey baby, make sure you check on the anthurium. That might be really helpful. And that's like a completely different, you know what I'm saying, mindset than the one I have now, where I know that like Saturday or Sunday, I'm going through the whole collection, everybody getting looked at. But I want to make sure that I'm paying special attention to the plants that absolutely can't dry out. And then I also want to not overdo it for the plants that I have already seen make it through a winter and don't need as much. I'm also excited to not have to water my large Monstera pot as much. I do think I probably high-key, not even low-key, high-key need to repot it. But that's neither here nor there. The next thing I want to talk about subject-wise is pests and like pest maintenance. If you watch a lot of other plant YouTubers like I do, then you will see that a lot of people say like, oh, seasonal changes are going to bring about like increase, you know what I'm saying, in pests and all that. Hear me out. I think that's true. And I also think seasonal changes bring about changes in yourself too. So for me, I know that it would be a lot easier for me as the skies are gray, it's gloomy, and I'm getting ready to get into my sad girl era. I know that it will be easy for me to be like, oh, I'm just not going to check on them. It'll be fine, blah, blah. What I absolutely do know is that I don't do the bugs. I do not do the bugs. I do not do the bugs. So that said, I will be increasing the amount that I spray all of my plants. Now, this kind of doubles as something for me. I think, you know, I don't know about y'all, but for me, like, my plants are my escape. Like, I'm a mom, you know what I'm saying? So I'm often caring for my little ones, doing things in service of them, or working, or, you know what I mean? I essentially view my plants as like time for me to invest in me and do something specifically for myself. And watching something grow and caring for it. Like, of course, I watch my kids grow, but you know what I'm trying. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying. Like, this is my me time. This is the thing I do to fill my cup. So for me, increasing the amount of time that the amount of times that I spray my plants, like each plant in my collection, I think for me, I am intending to view this as like, okay, that is you being really intentional about setting aside you time. So for me, I'm gonna view increasing like the amount of times that I spray my plants as like an opportunity for me to dedicate time to like being with myself. Like, I'm gonna play music while I'm doing it because I got hella plans. It's gonna take me a minute. And I wanna take my time, go through with my little, you know what I'm saying, spray bottle, and literally wipe them leaves off and down. And if you don't have time, like if I'm not feeling like wiping each leaf, wait until the grow lights turn off or turn them off manually. One day of them getting 2 hours less will not hurt them. And spraying all the leaves front and back over my bucket as I normally do. And then telling them good night and that I'll see them in the morning. I think that actions like that can really give myself time to like, it could give me time to like be with myself, be with my thoughts, listen to an audiobook, do something during that time. You know what I mean? That makes it feel two birds, one stone, which is more like, oh, I filled my cup. I did this thing that I really enjoy. I got to spend time seeing my plants. And also I feel like when you're doing like that maintenance where you're going through and like spraying your collection, I know everybody doesn't have time for it. And everybody doesn't feel like they should have to do that or they like to do it. You don't have to do anything, right? But for me, I think one, it gives me the opportunity to actually pay attention to some plants that I otherwise barely look at. And then I think also it allows me to like reassess throughout. So like, one, I'm spending time with myself, but I'm also reassessing my collection every time I do that, because there's gonna come a time where you come around a plant and it's the 4th time that you've done this and you're like, why are you still here? And you're gonna actually take the initiative to get that plant up out of here. I also just kind of want to add that like, this is like the opportunity for you to like savor plant care and like romanticize it, like going through with a little spray bottle and a little cloth, you know what I'm saying? Your music is playing soft jazz or whatever you want to do in the background. I'm probably not doing soft jazz. I'm probably listening to Mona Leo, but that's neither here nor there. And wiping down the plants, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like something about that could feel nice, very fun. So yeah, that's kind of what I'll be doing with like pest maintenance, is just making sure that I'm spraying bi-weekly. And then transparently, if I see any something, y'all know what I'm gonna hit it with. Y'all know, yeah. If it's a mite, spinosad. If it's a non-mite, it's gonna get that combo, systemic granule spray. The next thing that I'm planning to do, and I'm actually planning to do that by this weekend, and for context, today is literally what, November 4th? Yeah, today's November 4th. It's election day, y'all. I'm a little stressed. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. So the next thing that I'm planning to do, and this is not about pests, this is just a thing I'm planning to do literally this weekend, is a full walkthrough and assessment of my collection. Now, it's giving put on your lab coat, I'm a doctor. But I want to go through and literally look at each of the plants. If a plant looks fine, is in good condition, roots look good, I'm leaving it alone. If a plant is significantly root bound, I want to up pot it. If a plant is looking crusted up and scary and I actually don't care about it, I want to get rid of it. If a plant is sparking anxiety and not joy, I want to get rid of it. If a plant needs to be trimmed to look a little bit pretty and I actually care about it and I want it, I'm going to do that. I want to go through and make a clear plan of to-dos that I intend to get through by like middle to end of December. Now, the reason for that is because winter didn't start yet. We still in fall, but I want to try to make sure that by the time winter starts, I don't have those major, like, I don't want to be in the middle of it being freezing cold. It's Christmas season. I love Christmas and I got to come up here and repot 15 plants. So I would like to get through all of those actions And also, if I need to, thin out my collection to the ones that I really enjoy, so that if stuff comes up in the wintertime, I am willing to do it and I'm excited to do it. I have been consistently saying that I don't downsize because I'm overwhelmed, but I get rid of anything that does not spark. My bad, y'all. This is lemongrass. This is lemongrass. This is my garden, and I'm growing stuff in here. Y'all don't even know what I got going on. But I don't get rid of plants because I'm like, I'm overwhelmed. I just don't believe that I should have plants in my collection that I don't care about. And I do not throw away all of the plants that I get rid of. I will rehome them. I will, list them, do what I gotta do. But if it comes down to it, I will just put the plant straight up in the garbage. Like, it just, sometimes it be like that, y'all. And it really do be like that. But I will be making sure that I do a full walkthrough where I'm considering plants I need to purge, plants I need to repot, pruning plants to make them look pretty. Because I want my collection to look very nice, you know what I'm saying, before winter hits, and to be set up to like be their strongest before, like, you know what I'm saying, winter hits. This next section is going to be a little bit more personal, but it's really just about my mental and like my approach to plant care in general and how I intend to be in this time. So I will say that I intend to have flexibility. I intend to have a significant amount of flexibility with myself during this winter time. Now, the reason for that is I have 2 kids, you know what I'm saying? I have a full-time job. I have a partner. I got a family. I call my mama every day. I you know what I'm saying? I got people to talk to, things to do. And I also am a human being who does get significantly impacted by the wintertime. I am in my sad girl era in the wintertime. Blues clues, you hear me? Blues, sad, okay? So winter is rough for you, girl, and I just gotta be real about that. And with all of the responsibilities and people who I am, you know what I'm saying, responsible for, my literal tiny humans, I'm responsible for them, but then also the people and relationships that I want to significantly maintain. If it comes to a point where I don't have the spoons, I do not want to tell myself, you gotta spray because it's the second, it's this week you said you're gonna spray. So long as the plant's getting water, I'm cool, I will say I want to not stress myself. So if I fall off of any of these things, I am not gonna sit here and tell myself that I'm a failure, etc. And I don't think you should either. Plant care is supposed to be joyful. I set all of these plans because I want the plants to look good, because I feel good when they look good and I like taking care of them and I like all of that. However, if I get into a rough patch, I haven't had that happen to me. Where I get into a rough patch, I can't take care of the plants. But if it happens, because you know what, never say never, I'm not going to beat myself up. And I don't think you should either. I actually really do think that worst case scenario, the advice I have for the winter is worst case scenario, if that seasonal affect disorder hit you, sad, baby. Water them when you can. You know what I'm saying? Water them when you can, okay? And, everything will be okay. Everything will be okay. Leaves crisping off, cut them off. The plant will regrow. So long as you got a node and healthy roots, you'll be fine. And if you don't, let me tell you, they have more at the store. It's really kind of tough, but you have to put yourself first. You can't pour from an empty cup. So make sure that you are filling your own cup. I just don't think any of your winter plant prep or care should bring you stress. You should not be worried. I'm not going to be worried. I'm going to be out here living my life, drinking hot chocolate and hoping that my anthurium make it through. So if anything about like winter is bringing you anxiety, just lower your expectations and remember that everything will be okay. If leaves crisp away, new ones will come in the spring. Cut them off while this winter time so you don't got to look at them, because that's what I absolutely will be doing. And don't add too much pressure to yourself, We doing the best we can with what we got. Y'all see what's going on outside. We doing the best we can with what we got. So all that said, I just wanted to share all of these thoughts that I have, these plans in my mind. They are not concepts of a plan. It's a real plan. All right, y'all. So with that being said, I appreciate y'all coming and watching this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what y'all planning to do with your plants for the winter. And please, 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 please do not put too much pressure on yourselves. Worst case scenario, a plant dies. I promise you they still sell that plant at the store. It will be okay. And if your plant is really expensive and you want it to live, put it in a bin if you're scared about the humidity. Do steps that reduce the effort on you and reduce the anxiety, but don't add too much pressure to yourself, okay? Don't put too much on your plate. Take a little something off. This is supposed to be fun. Make sure you're having fun with whatever you're doing. And if it's going to be fun for you to make sure you check every plant every day, do that. Do what's going to make you feel good. That's the point of this hobby, to be honest. That said, I will see y'all in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.